Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Life in DIY with Amanda. Make sure you subscribe, like, comment on the video. It helps my video grow. You can also find me on Instagram. So let's get on to the crafting. Hi everybody, welcome to DIY number 1. So this I picked up at a thrift store. I got her for $2, make you holla, and it's not my jam, the colors. I don't have gold in my house. It just wasn't going to work. So I knew that I was going to paint it with this brand new French linen chalk paint that has replaced the Waverly chalk paint. So for all those crafters, we've used, Waverly for so long, and this is the new brand. So I am just going to slap it on there, and I do about 2 coats, a couple spots where I had to go back and touch up. I'm not going to torture you and make you watch me paint the whole thing, and of course it's out of view, but this is how it goes. But isn't that color beautiful? So the paint, here's my review on the paint. The paint is alright. It has a really funky smell, like more like a paint smell than the Waverly did, but I think the coverage was pretty good, especially because I had all these nooks and crannies to get into. So I just kind of slopped it on there and got it in there. I mean, that's really what you got to do to get it into all those nooks and crannies. But overall, it's good, and I really like this color. This is one of my favorite colors ever. So neutral. You could mix and match it with everything. Any color goes well with that. But I love the neutral. So I'm just gonna sit here and paint this up for you.
Dream in color, you're black and white, and I prefer the country, your city lights.
Okay, so here we go with the second coat, because as you can see by the top that the gold didn't quite cover up, and there are going to be a few little spots in and out that the gold's going to peek through here and there, and I'm okay with that. Gives it more of that, aged, rustic look to it. I mean, this color on this design is so, like country, what is it? French farmhouse? Yes, that's the word I'm looking for. So if you're new here and you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you subscribe to my channel. Like and comment, share with your friends. It really is going to help my channel grow. I am so excited for this. 3 videos in, and it's been amazing. I appreciate every single one of you. So this little pink thing that I'm wiggling around here is my heat drying tool. It just helps the process up because I'm impatient and I don't want to wait for paint to dry. So I go ahead and handle that with that. It's like a blow dryer. So if you don't have a heat tool, you can use a blow dryer. Easy peasy, makes life better. Okay, so this is Folk Art white wax. So white wax is just number 1, it's gonna protect the paint so that it doesn't chip off, and number 2, it's gonna give it this really pretty overlay of white. And I really was wanting to work and get it into the little nooks and crannies just to give it that detail. I'm just using a plain old stencil brush, and as you can see, I literally am glopping it in there. So, because I want it to get all the way in there, get in those grooves, so when I go to wipe it off, it stays in the inside. But see the contrast? You can see the white over that French linen, and it's not going to stay that white. It's going to have a nice little contrast. So I'm going to wax this whole thing, and like I said, glop it in there. I mean, seriously, crafting is messy. You do you. If white wax isn't your jam, you could just have left it whatever color that you painted it, or you can use clear wax and add any other color to it that you want. This would be really pretty with like a dark wax all crammed into those nooks and crannies you got going on there. Would be gorgeous. But this is gonna look super cute in my office, and I have put smudge clusters, so white sage clusters, and that's what's sitting inside of there in my office. Okay, so now we're gonna go with the handy dandy paper towel and see how I'm just like kind of wiping off the top. Yes. So now I really rub off the bottom, rub off the top, because I just wanted a thin layer over that. But then I'm gonna dab with that paper towel, and I'm going to try to leave the white wax in the nooks and the crannies in the detail, because we're trying to bring out some more of the detail. But it looks absolutely gorgeous. Don't worry about those little hairs left over from the brush. They will come off. So I'm just going to sit here and dabby dab, work on it. It comes out so pretty. I absolutely love it. And thank you for being part of DIY #1 with me.
Dream in color, you're black and white, and I prefer the country to your city lights.
Okay, so I got this what is that? Picture. I got this picture for $3. Not picture, picture for $3. Same thrift store I bought the other one at. Okay, so this project is a holy hot mess, but I left it in here because I just want you guys to know that it's not always a home run for me. Sometimes I have this vision in my head and it doesn't necessarily turn out that way. So we're gonna tape off this bottom area here because I actually dig the design in black, but I'm not liking the yellow. So I'm going to paint the bottom of this and give it a different look. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna give it a different look. So we're gonna paint it in, you guessed it, French linen acrylic paint. You know what I just noticed is that that new paint is acrylic paint and it's not chalk paint. So therefore that's the difference. It says acrylic. Who would have? Oh no, it does say chalk right there. Okay, it says chalk. Okay, never mind. Delete that last comment. So I'm gonna just really put it on here. I want to cover this up. It's going to take a few coats to make it happen. So I go all the way around. So let me just tell you that normally when you paint along the line of tape, you probably should paint in a downward motion. Don't do as I say, not as I do. I don't know what I was thinking, but I was just literally like slopping it on. Amazingly enough, it comes out pretty decent in the end. So, but look at that yellow. The yellow had to go. The yellow had to go. Okay, so maybe I didn't want you to see what I was doing. I don't know. I'm still working on these angles. But look at that beautiful color, beautiful chalky finish. And so let's take some tape off. So we're going to take some tape off. Oh, look at right there. Right there. It had to peel because you know what? This is different material. Sometimes paint doesn't always want to stick. You can use a primer if you want to. The whole point about chalk paint is you're not supposed to need to use a primer. But it wanted to be difficult. So, got the tape off. There's the bottom. And now we're going to mess around with it a little bit. There's me sad. Sad face. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and cover those couple little spots up where it looks uneven. You could totally see like the uneven spot where I apparently was having issues painting. So we're going to paint up and round out the top of this so it looks better. Okay, so I'm pretending that it looks better, but this is a black paint marker by Arteza. And so I am just going to go with the boho look on this because that's my jam. I'm loving it. So I'm just adding these little triangles, these little greater than signs, less than signs, whatever you want to call them. Put a little dot. So this is where I should have stopped. So I should have stopped with just the top row. But no, I had to take it farther. I had to go farther. So I put the little line. It's cute. I'm digging it. But now I'm going the opposite direction. So I'm still liking it. I'm still liking it. I think it's cute. But I wish I would have left it at this point. But no, I was like, oh, I could do something else. I could do something else. I should have mimicked the design that was on there prior to me painting it, because I really liked it. So let me put some dots right there. We're going to go some dots on the bottom. Yes, that is my clock in my kitchen because I'm in my living room right now, so you can hear that. Get the sizzle on. Oh, there's my husband making dinner right while I'm doing a voiceover. So check her out. That's it. So then I decided that I was going to go back and seriously, my husband's cooking right now. So I decided to go back and take Plaster by Waverly and kind of blend the whole thing. So it doesn't just look like, you know, a chalk paint with a marker on the top. So kind of like the white wax design without the wax. You know what I'm saying? So it just is what it is. I'm just going to let you watch this. So that's it, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just putting this all over. You should have seen how much I cut out because it just got crazy. But I actually think it's kind of cute. I actually really like it at this point. So I think that the whitewash over the top really helped out the whole situation there. And you'll be able to see a picture of this. Hey everyone, and I'm so excited for DIY number 3. So this box, I've had this box for forever. I got it at a thrift store a long time ago. I've had paint in it. I've had all kinds of stuff. It's been all over the place. So I decided to give it some new life. So I'm just going to sand off the red writing on the front, and I went ahead and just fast forward through that because it was shaking my camera and nobody wants to see that. So this is the color Plaster by Waverly. I get this at Walmart. They did come out with new paint, which you see in the corner over there. It's that other brand that I showed in the last DIY that I did. This is my favorite color. I love it. It's not bright white, but it's not cream. It's somewhere in that happy medium. So I'm just going to paint the whole box, not the inside, but the sides and the top rim. And this brush is fabulous. I love it. It's such a good brush to have. If I can remember, I will link it in the comments below in the description box. So here I am getting out my heat tool again because, you know, I have no patience for paint. And I was so excited to see where this DIY goes. So that right there in that little container is the Waverly Antique Wax. I had just a little bit left in the bottom of a big bottle, so I thought, I'll just put it in this little container and make my life so much easier, and it does. So I'm going to use it on the inside and the inside sides of this box because I didn't want to paint the whole thing. I still wanted a little bit more of that natural look to it, but I didn't like how light it was. I wanted it a little bit darker, so that's the nice thing about the dark wax. It's just gonna pretty much like tint the wood. It's like stain, but water-based, so it doesn't stain your hands, it doesn't smell, and you can wipe it up with a baby wipe, paper towel, whatever you got. So I'm just using this baby wipe to get all the excess wax off. It's just like when you do stain. You put the stain down, you let it sit for however deep of the color that you want, and then you wipe it off. Same thing. Except for I use a baby wipe because the moisture helps to get off all the extra wax. Because as you see, I put it on pretty heavy, but I did want that dark inside, so I did use a pretty good amount to make that happen. So as you see, I made a big mess. I got the brown wax on my white, but that's okay. It just wiped off so pretty. That's what I love about that. If that was stain, it would have not wiped off. Good thing about paint is you could just touch things up. Just wanted to cover up some of that brown that I had got on there because I have fingerprints on the side because, you know, touching the wax, touching my white container. So these are jumbo popsicle sticks from Walmart. I love them because they're wood and it just makes a nice little addition to your projects. So I'm just going to stain them to match the inside of the box. Again with my baby wipes. Makes life so much easier. So this is that French linen that we used in the other DIYs. And I'm just going to dry brush. And when I say dry brush, a lot of people don't know what that is. And so what that is you dip your paintbrush in the paint, but then you remove as much excess as you possibly can. And you literally just brush across whatever it is that you want to dry brush. So you can see right there that it's not making a solid coat, but that it's just giving a little bit of color onto that plaster because I just didn't want it to be stark, you know, I just totally white. So I had to add a little dry brushing, which again gives it more of that rustic look to it. And I love this French linen color. Helps with the wood, like make it look more like wood grain. I mean, even though it's a wood box, but I covered it up with the plaster. And then I decided that I wanted to add a little bit of black. So I'm going to dry brush, say that 10 times quick. Dry brush some black on there. So you see how I put it on the brush and then I'm just kind of patting it into the napkin so that I can remove all the excess. And then I'm just barely like swiping it across the sides just to give it a little extra ooh la la. Oh, I love it. I love it. Isn't that pretty? I love this box. It's so cute. Okay, so I also dry brushed those jumbo popsicle sticks with the black as well, just because I wanted them to match better, just give it a little bit of dimension. So I'm going to cut the ends off. I bring you in closer. It lets me cutting through. Scissors work well. People use all different kinds of stuff to cut these, but those are my popsicle stick scissors. So I'm going to use these to add accents to the end of my box. And so I'm just going to measure the height times 2 because I'm going to butt them up on the other side. So you can use wood glue, hot glue, super glue, gorilla glue, whatever glue that you want. I'm using a hot glue just because it's easy and dries real quick. So as you see, I put them one on each side of the corners, and I gave it more of that super rectangular look instead of the rounded look that it originally had. So I did all 4 corners. And then I found these fashion gems at the Dollar Tree. So I'm using them as like nail head nail head on each corner of this box. And I just thought it was, you can do this part or not do this part. It's totally up to you. But I just thought it added just a little bit extra to my box. Looks like, you know, I hammered nails into it or tacks or whatever to give it that little bit of extra realistic look instead of, hey, she just hot glued some wood pieces to the end of the box. I love it. It looks so cute in my house. Loving those beads. Look how cute. Super easy to put on. No excess glue needed. They didn't fall off. The adhesive that was on there was enough. So pretty. So I put handles on with that faux leather that I got from the Dollar Tree. But I decided in the long run that I didn't like it. These faux mercury glass faces came from the Target Bullseye spot. I bought them, I don't know, like 6 months ago, and I've been waiting for the perfect place to put them. And this little box just happens to be it. How stinking cute is this? I love it. And here she is in her glory. Yay! And here we are at DIY number 4, last one for the day. So I picked up these black candlesticks for free. Somebody put them out and said they didn't want them no more, so I picked them up, which is super awesome because they are Pottery Barn. Can't get any better than that. So they're in rough shape, and I knew I could make them better. And then these gorgeous wooden bowls I picked up at a thrift store in Monterey, California when I was on vacation. And I wish the camera would have showed you the detail. It's absolutely beautiful. But I just knew that I wanted to put these things together. So I am going to E6000 and hot glue the bowl to the candlestick. So I just knew that you could do so much more and make the candlestick so much more prominent than just a regular old candlestick. So I glued it down and I did that to both of the candlesticks. So here is my favorite color, Plaster by Waverly. And I'm going to paint this whole thing, holy paint. I got crazy with the paint right there. So I'm going to paint the whole thing white. It's going to give that way more cohesive look, like they belong together. You're not going to know that they didn't belong together when we're all done here. So I'm just giving it a really good coat of white. And you're going to see that I changed my mind multiple times in the middle of this DIY. That's kind of how I roll. You know, creative people just, they start with something and it doesn't exactly look exactly the way they want it to look, so they alter it and they change it and they do it again, and basically you just do things until your eyeballs love it and it's gonna look really cute in your house, and no harm, no foul. So here's the second one, giving her a good coat of paint. I think this has to be my favorite DIY that I did in this video. Oops. So the bowl popped off. So the first one I just used E6000, and because of the indent in the top of the candlestick, which you can't see because my camera does not catch all of that because, you know, hey, we're still learning. But I ended up just using hot glue and it was perfect. And I've moved them all over the place. They're still kicking, no problem. And if I ever wanted to use the candlesticks in some other kind of way, like I could easily get that hot glue off. Apply a little heat and off they come. So fingerprints and all in the white paint, but you'll see that I go through and I recover up those fingerprints, leaving my my official signature in the paint. That's how I like to do it. Okay, so to save you the long drawn out process of 2 coats of paint, this is what it looks like. Absolutely gorgeous. Look at that detail. It's so pretty. I love it. As you can see, some of the black peeks through, but that is part of the whole process. So I am using Hazelnut by Waverly, and I am dry brushing this candlestick. So remember we talked about dry brushing. It's just adding a little bit of paint here and there. And see, this is when I get out of control. So I'm out of control. There's way too much. Way. So you're going to see that I'm going to go back in and I'm actually going to repaint the entire bowl. I mean, the entire candlestick, because I just got way too crazy. I was thinking I liked it, and then I realized that wasn't what I was going for. So here is me. I'm going over it. Because, you know, that's the best thing about paint is if you don't like the way you painted something, you could just paint it over all over again. This is just painting, guys. It's crafting. No need to take it super serious. It is what it is. Again, I got wild with the hazelnut, which you'll see. Again, I go back and I dull it out some so it's not so crazy. Just the different layers give you texture and dimension into your piece that you're working on. So there she is, all pretty. And then I decide that's way too much hazelnut. So see the Pottery Barn on the bottom? So I go back and I put even more white over the hazelnut to tone it right back down. So I'm not completely coating it. I mean, I am giving it that multi-dimension layer and texture to give it just a little bit different of a look, but I still felt like there was too much of that brown going on there. So I'm just gonna keep playing with it until I finally look back and say, this is it. This is the look I was going for. Now I'm messing with this big one. I'm adding in the hazelnut. I get a little crazy with it, but that's okay. You're gonna see in the long run, all the layers in the process. Look how pretty that is. All the layers in the process really make these pieces look amazing. So I'm just sanding it. That's a lot of paint I put on there. So we did lots of layers of paint. So I'm just kind of smoothing it down, giving it just a tiny little bit of distressing. Nothing too crazy, but I did feel with all that paint that there was a lot of texture going on in there. And so I just kind of wanted to smooth it out just a tad bit. And then I thought it would be cute if some of that black popped through in the bottom. As you'll see in a minute here, I actually add black dry brushing to the candlesticks because that's my jam. You know, I love adding black into items that I paint white and add brown or a tan or something in it, just to give it a little bit more dimension. And then you can really see the detail of the top of that wooden bowl. It's so pretty. I know at some swipes it looks like I'm really not putting anything on there, but let me tell you, it's so much easier to add more than take it away, as we've seen, because I've done both both methods here, because I got a little crazy with all the paint colors. I'd love to hear what you guys think is your favorite DIY for today. Put it down in the comments below and let me know. I'd love to see you guys recreate these. That would be so awesome. I just hope that I've inspired you to do something different, out of the box. Change something up that is in your house that you may have not, that you got tired of looking at and you're thinking, oh, I'm just going to get rid of that. But really, this is all about bringing new life to things and saving them from the landfill. If you're liking my channel and if you're loving my DIYs, don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. Share it with your friends. That's really going to help my channel grow. I love and appreciate every single one of you for taking the time to watch the video today. And I hope you love this DIY as much as I do.